How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video. And today we're going to be looking at Game Week 3. We did this series last year, PEP Roulette. This is where we try to guess what Pep Guardiola's Manchester City lineup is going to be for the next Fantasy Premier League fixture. So I even have the old roulette wheel up here. Which one is it going to land on? Which players is he going to actually pick this game week? Luckily for us, it's going to be a little bit easier this week just because of some of the people that are lacking fitness or coming back from injury or maybe have been out due to the virus. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps out the channel. And give us a follow on all of the socials, PilotFlame226 on Twitter and Twitch. Twitter, we post all of our daily content, and Twitch is where we're going to be doing our preview streams over on Friday and Saturday. Friday being the preview stream, which will be at 7 p.m. EDT, and the deadline stream on Saturday, which will be 1 hour before the deadline. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So here's the Game Week 2 team sheet that Pep Guardiola put out in their 3-1 victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers away from home. They had Ederson in goal, Walker at right back, Mendy at left back, Stones and Ake as the partnership at center back. Then they had De Bruyne playing in the 10 with Fernandinho and Rodri in behind. I just have it as a 4-3-3 just because typically that's what Pep Guardiola has played in the past, and we'll just kind of keep it that way just for simplicity's sake. And then he had Foden playing mainly out on the right, with Jesus playing through the middle and Sterling out on the left, with Riyad Mahrez and Ferran Torres being the two main attacking options left on the bench. So one thing that you'll notice is that Bernardo Silva's not in this team, Aymeric Laporte's not in this team. Two crucial assets for them this season. Also, Gundogan's another one that probably could change the midfield up slightly, which will play De Bruyne as more of an 8, more of a Metsala type role in the midfield. Whereas this formation, he had Fernandinho and Rodri sitting in front of the back four and having De Bruyne kind of play in that number 10 role, that shadow striker to Jesus, which is very scary if De Bruyne is going to continue to play there, because they technically haven't really replaced the likes of David Silva, that like number 8 in the attacking role, kind of like De Bruyne one side, David Silva making way on the other side in terms of like making moves, making passes, these little tiki-taka style of play on that side of the pitch. And we thought that Foden might be in there, but he seems to be playing him off the right hand side. Now this is a bit of a worry, as I think that there's going to be a lot of competition for that position. Ferran Torres could potentially play that. I think he's capable of playing on both sides, but Riyad Mahrez we know plays in off the right. Foden is now considered to be playing off the right. Bernardo Silva we know plays off the right as well. So when these guys come back fit, there could be kind of competition for that right hand side, whereas Sterling is pretty much going to be nailed down on that left-hand side. There's no real competition there. I mean, I guess you could play De Bruyne there, or maybe Jesus plays out wide left when Aguero comes back. But I think that there's many different ways that he can kind of go with it. But for now, this team seems to be the most logical on paper, and allows De Bruyne, his best player, to be, basically good at what Kevin De Bruyne does, creating like, key passes all over the shop and just getting players involved in winning a penalty, or putting a penalty away rather, with Raheem Sterling winning it, and getting the victory, which is what Man City do best, is pick up points and do it in a very one-sided fashion. So the first set of players that I want to talk about is Kevin De Bruyne versus Raheem Sterling. Now Kevin De Bruyne got 13 points, whereas Sterling only picked up the 5 in their away win versus Wolves. Kevin De Bruyne played all 90 minutes, whereas Sterling got hooked at 81 minutes, and he didn't seem too pleased about getting hooked off, and there was a little bit of afters. Pep Guardiola kind of talked back and forth. Sterling wasn't too happy, Pep wasn't too happy, but I mean, Sterling didn't really do much apart from getting taken down for the penalty, whereas De Bruyne definitely did quite a lot, creating 6 key passes and was involved in the play. Now, if you were kind of undecided as to which one you were going to bring in, Sterling or De Bruyne, at 11.5, if De Bruyne is playing the number 10 role, he's still on penalties. It seems like a no-brainer to me. De Bruyne has already gone up in price to 11.6. He's probably going to go up again if he performs this week as well. And I think that with De Bruyne only seeing very few minutes in the cup, much like Sterling and Mahrez in that game, I think that, we could see De Bruyne definitely playing in that number 10 role again. And I think Pep could basically run out the same formation. So I see no reason why to take the risk over Sterling, even though he is only 5% owned. And we do know that from open play, he can score quite a lot of goals. He does get taken down for penalties and whatnot. And I think that, De Bruyne being more of the, the penalty taker and the free kick taker and more of the assist man, Sterling is kind of more of the explosive of the two. But if Man City get 10, even 15 penalties this season, and De Bruyne's on them, I mean, De Bruyne could end up with an absolutely ludicrous score this season, 250, 300 points easy. So we'll have to kind of pay attention to that. But I think De Bruyne is definitely the player that you should be bringing in for Game Week 3 if it's, a choice between these two. The next player that I kind of want to discuss is Riyad Mahrez. Now, you can kind of bunch Foden into this category because it seems like Foden may have taken up the mantle out on the right-hand side. But mainly Mahrez, Game Week 2, no minutes, no points, didn't come off the bench at all. Now, Pep may have used him had he had 5 substitutions, but you would think Riyad Mahrez would probably be one of the players you would definitely bring on. He played Foden out there for, I think it was 90 minutes, actually, if I remember correctly, but he played Foden for a lot of the game. He played Sterling for 81 minutes, and he picked Ferran Torres over Mahrez. So I don't know if there's something going on there. Mahrez maybe been lacking fitness after coming back from testing positive. But he did play in the cup and played all 90 minutes, so we can probably expect some minutes out of Mahrez definitely this weekend when they go to play Leicester at home. But it's a bit of a weird one because at the end of last season as well, he was kind of in and out of the team, was coming off the bench a lot. There was 3 weeks in a row where we're like, yeah, definitely Mahrez is going to start. And then he didn't. He was on the bench and, he came off and made, a couple of good appearances, one of which ended up with a 10-point score. But I think it's just a bit weird that now that Mahrez is just being relegated to the bench, it's almost like he prefers Foden now, which for us fantasy owners is fantastic because if Mahrez is, 8.5 and Foden 6.5 and Foden's getting the starts and performing well, I mean, he scored again in the cup and played a good chunk of minutes there as well. I see no reason why you wouldn't just pick Foden over Mahrez. They both play the same position effectively. One starts, one doesn't. And, typically, you can't have them getting hooked before 60 minutes. But a Man City player that's getting more minutes than the other one, you would probably take the one that's getting more minutes because that means more damage, for that player in terms of how much, basically, destructiveness as they were because Man City players typically score quite a lot of points versus bottom half opponents or even Wolves. I mean, we saw it with Wolves. Wolves are considered one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the league, and they made it look easy. United, and Solskjaer came out and said, "Oh, Manchester United is, a bit, it's going to take some time. Got to get back to fitness." City looked like they hadn't even missed a beat, and they made Wolves look absolutely just like they were average, basically. So I'm not sure if it's just fitness on Mahrez's part, but I can probably expect him, to play some part in next week's game. From the start in Game Week 4. I think he's probably going to be coming off the bench in this game week. Only time will tell. I think it's just a fitness issue, but Mahrez is one of those players, much like Sterling, that recovers quite quickly. Who knows how the virus has affected him, but we'll have to see for that going forward. And the last player that I think that everyone forgets about is Gabriel Jesus. He played 90 minutes, getting 6 points in their Wolves win. And he didn't play any part in the cup game, so he's fully rested. And Aguero's out injured for at least a month. So I think one of the golden rules in FPL is if Jesus or Aguero are injured for even 3 to 4 weeks, you bring the other one in. They're a Manchester City striker. They're going to have De Bruyne apparently playing in the number 10 role, feeding them just crucial pass after crucial pass, just these very big chances. You have the likes of Sterling and, Foden and Mahrez and these types of players attracting all the attention. Jesus is going to get in and around the box. Yes, he's going to miss a few. He's not as clinical as the likes of Aguero. But there's going to be a game where he's going to put at least 2 of them in. Or he might be super clinical, get 2 chances, put them in. He scored on the last kick of the game versus Wolves and, got a decent score. At the time of recording, he is lower than 5% owned. So I'm not sure if people are just overlooking him or what, but at 9.5 million, he looks to be quite a steal, and I can definitely see some people bring him on a wild card, maybe in place of Werner as their similar price. And it could be one of those things where, people maybe even ditch Werner, keep Jesus for the time being. If Werner does go down in price, they put in Werner, and if Werner doesn't do well, then they bring in Jesus the following game week when they play Leeds away. But I think people are definitely overlooking Gabriel Jesus, and I think he could be a very good asset from Game Week 3 onwards. With that being said, this is my Game Week 3 predicted lineup for Manchester City. I've only gone with one change as they go to face Leicester City at the Etihad. It's going to be Aymeric Laporte in for John Stones, and I think they're going to play a 4-2-3-1 in normal fashion as they did before with just Laporte. Laporte may play left side center back, whereas Ake may play right side. It depends. They're both left-footed, so they'll probably pick and choose. But I think if Laporte's fit, I think he comes back into the team. There was kind of some speculation that he might see some minutes in the game that they played in the Carabao Cup versus Bournemouth. However, if he's, maybe he wasn't quite ready yet, and he may come back into the team, maybe play 60 minutes versus Leicester and then get taken off as one of the substitutes. Will Pep risk him? I'm not sure. It was maybe a fitness thing because he was recovering from the virus. But I think Pep has no reason to change his side. Mendy looked decent going forward. Same with Walker. De Bruyne was doing his thing. He's now 11.6 million, playing in front of Rodri and Fernandinho. Fernandinho is also potentially a weird option because he is a defender. Yes, that's not a typo. Fernandinho is a defender, but he's playing in the midfield. And I think there's no reason to change the front three, really. Sterling, he did get taken down for the penalty. Maybe there's some afters there. Maybe Mahrez comes in and plays on the right and Foden goes out on the left. But I think Pep will stick with pretty much the same team. And he'll probably want to get Laporte back in to get some minutes under his belt. Ndidi going down for Leicester is another important thing. He could be out from anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. So that could be, quite a hampering on their defense. And there was some XG stats that over the last few times that Man City's played against top 6 opposition, Leicester being considered one of those, they have an XG over 2, which is quite favorable for a Manchester City team. So you think the likes of Foden or Jesus or Sterling or De Bruyne would be in and on that action. But I think Pep will name a pretty much unchanged side apart from Laporte, and I can see Riyad Mahrez and Ferran Torres getting 25-30 minutes off the bench. Assuming things are going to plan for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. And that's going to do it for the Game Week edition of Pep Roulette. If you're enjoying the videos and this series, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. It really helps out the channel heavily. Make sure to leave a comment down below as to what you think Pep's lineup is going to be, if he's going to do anything wonky because he's going up against considered tougher opposition in Leicester City. And make sure to turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, give us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. It's PilotFlame226 on those platforms. Twitter, we post our weekly bulletin on Sundays as to what videos are going to be coming out this week, as well as we're going to be doing 2 streams on Twitch, one tomorrow, Friday the 25th. That's going to be at 7 p.m. EDT. That's going to be our Game Week 3 preview. And then we're also going to be doing a deadline stream on Saturday over on Twitch as well, 1 hour before the Game Week deadline. So make sure to check us out for that. And thank you for watching the video. Until the next one, take care.